First grade, you have been doing such a great job. You learned all the clock stroke phonograms and all of a single letter clock stroke phonograms and all of the short line letter phonograms. That's great. So that means we can move on to a new category of strokes that we use for phonograms tomorrow. First, though, we're going to practice using some of our box paper to write and read some words. I do want to show you something with this box paper before we start. So our short line letters are going to look a little bit different than our clock stroke letters did when we put them in the box paper. Our clock stroke letters, most of them, since we go over a space to start them, they ended up being about in the middle of our boxes. And so it's going to look a little bit different when we do our short line letters because we're going to start it close to the edge of the box. We act like the edge of the box is the margin or the last letter. And so we would write not in the middle of the box, but let's say I wanted, if you were telling me to write R in this first box, it would be over close to the edge. And so then if you told me to write I-E in the next box, it's not really close to my last letter, you can see, right? There's a big space in there, but we treat the edge of each box like our last letter, or like it's a letter and we write close to it. So things will look a little bit funny on our box paper if we're doing, or a little bit different if we're doing our short line letters than if we're doing our clock stroke letters. The box paper, though, we're just going to use it for a couple of weeks. The box paper helps us figure out how to space our words correctly and remember to leave a clock space between all of our words. So we're just going to use it for a week or two until we have that memorized. And then we're going to move on to the more grown-up kind of paper that we have. All right, so get some box paper, get ready to write. All right, make sure you make your letters as beautiful as you can. The first one I want you to write in the first box is ya, I-E. Right? Where's your starting spot? Good, it's at the dotted line. All right, talk through it as you write it. All right, in the next box, I want you to write I-E. What are you going to write in the next box? Good, I-E. Okay, in the next box, I want you to write P. Where does P start? Good, it starts at the dotted line. So talk through your P as you write it. That's the end of that word. So skip a box. All right, in the next box, I want you to write R. In the next box, write U, U, O. And where does that start? Good, at the dotted line, and talk through it as you write it. In the next box, write N. All right, and then skip a space or skip a box. So in the next box, I want you to write I-E. What are you going to write? Good, I-E. All right. And then in the last box on that line, I want you to write J. All right, now it's your turn to be the teachers and tell me what to write and I'll write it. What do I write in this box? Good, yeah, I-E. So remember, it might help you if you put your finger under your box paper so you can follow along. Good, this is yeah, I-E. Oops, I made a mistake already. And I can't draw more boxes, so I'll have to erase it this time. Because remember, I forgot that I want to start my yeah, I-E all the way over here. All right, what goes in my next box? Good, I-E. And what goes in the next box? Good, and where does that start? Good, at the dotted line, and I go down and then back up. All right, how about the next box? Oh, skip it? All right. What goes in my next box? All right, and that starts at the dotted line, close to the edge of the box. All right, what do I write in the next box? Good, U, U, O. All right, so starting close to the edge of the box there. And I'll write my U, U, O. All right, what goes in the next box? Good, N. All right, how about the next box? Oh, I have to skip that one too, huh? What goes here? Good, I-E. And how about my last box on that line? Good, J. All right, so make sure your box paper looks like mine. If you got the wrong phonogram anywhere, cross it out. And now that we wrote these words, we're going to read them. So remember, we say the first sound. Right now, we're just practicing saying the first sound to read these words. All right, so what is the first sound of this one? Good, it's yeah. First sound of this one? Good, I and p. All right, so now we just have to put them together faster. All right, so it's yep, ip, yip, yip. That, I guess, is maybe a real word. Sometimes we talk about a dog yipping. All right, let's go to our next word. What does this say? Good, R. And how about the first sound of this one? Good, and N. Good, let's put them together. You probably knew that one was a real word, right? N, run, when we put it together. That is something I was doing a lot this summer, and I have to figure out how to make it still happen now that school's back in session. I'm a little busier now. All right, let's go to our last word. What is the first sound of this? Good, I, J. Yeah, that one's kind of funny. I, J, idge, idge. All right, well, thank you for all your hard work today, and I will see you tomorrow.